and Kyrgyzstan is welcome to our session. Our mysterious virtual journey in Silk Road continues today. We are the guest of the ICOM Mongolia. I hope we are together to explore the culture, the art, the food, the flowers, and the natural and heritage and treasure inside of archaeological ruins along this Silk Road. So before starting the session, I would like to give a floor to Dr. Madame Ruxana David, President of ICOM Pakistan, to make a welcome speech. Thank you, Madame Ruxana.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I wasn't expecting to do another welcome speech other than what I did yesterday, but welcome to ICOM Mongolia for this session. And yes, we continue our journey for the Silk Route, such an important route, 4,000 miles of culture, of religion, of people, of which has come to us as we've inherited that. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity. I am personally very excited to hear what Mongolia, ICOM Mongolia has to offer and its speakers. And so I welcome the speakers from ICOM Mongolia and otherwise who are speaking at this session. And again, thank you very much, Professor Sadat and Professor Ali again for the technical backup. I think without the technical backup, this would not have been possible actually. So welcome to everyone, the speakers, the participants, everyone. So I hope we have a wonderful session. Over to Mongolia, ICOM.
Give the host authority to Buma Darshandev, please.
Dear all, I'm very glad to greet.
Wait. Okay, Dr. Elia Knakyo.
Okay, everything is okay.
Give the authority.
Okay, everything is working.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Today, in Mongolian session, I'm very glad to greet all of you. And I want to express my gratitude to the ICOM Pakistan and Kumit of Turkey and to organizing this international online conference. This international virtual conference is very good opportunity for our Mongolian museum staff, and we very glad to be involved in this project. Now we will show to you about introduction video about Mongolian museums. Дуу нь гарахгүй шүү дээ. Дуу гарахгүй. Тий, дууг нь тавь.
Mrs. Puma, you are on mute now.
I try to again play the video because video was played by Otton Surung, director of the museum, but no sound.
When the sharing now, at the bottom left, there is a sound checking possibility. By sharing,
okay,
the screen is open and the bottom left, you can see the sound checking. Please check it and then you see we all see the sound. version of this recording. By sharing, please check the sound checking.
Yes, now I check sound.
Okay, thank you.
Also, can you allow access to you editor from UNESCO, because he called me to me that he doesn't have access from UNESCO. Oyun and editor.
If you send me the address, I can share the video web page address. Or maybe we can see the without sound. It's your choice.
Already.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, maybe later. Let's enter the. I wrote name of the.
Madam, do we have our keynote speaker here, or she's in waiting?
Yes, this staff from UNESCO, he is calling to me that he is not allowed to waiting. He is waiting to enter.
За эсвэл дараа болохгүй доо бомогч.
Харин тийм ээ, кэнд юу чадахгүй мэд.
Дараа бол.
Тий.
Mrs. Puma, if you send me the address or the video record, maybe I can share with you. If it's not possible, maybe at the end of the session, we will again share this record if you don't solve the problem.
Link нь байгаа мó бомогч? Саяны видеоны YouTube дээр байгаа мó? YouTube link байвал энэ хүн лөө Ali Akan гэдэг хүн лөө явуулчвал тавиад өгье гэдэг шүү.
Maybe I advise you, Buma Dashtin, please, we will go on for the next speaker and then we will solve this problem. Maybe you can leave the chat part, the addresses I can share at the end of the session, maybe.
Умагч speak нь бэлий юм шиг байна шүү дээ. Дараагийнх нь хүнээ яриулж үл яа тий. Энийгээ дараалаад.
Buma, your microphone is closed. We can't hear you.
Yes, I open.
Thank you.
Уянга байна уу?
Гэхдээ бомогч дараа бол юу?
Бага бомогч үргэлжлүүл явуулсан дээр ах.
Үгүй тэгээ хань уянга үг хэлэх хэрэгтэй байхгүй да.
За зөв.
I want to invite Mrs. Oyung Sukbatar. She is Secretary General Mongolian National Commission for UNESCO. Her topic is UNESCO Silk Road Program Contributions of Museums to the Implementations of the Sustainable Development Goals. Are you there, Mrs. Oyung? Oh, yes, I see her. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Buma. We have got a technical problem. It's no way we will proceed. honorable guests, distinguished experts and organizers, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mongolian National Commission for UNESCO, I would like to express my great appreciation to ICOM-Pakistan, Committee of Turkey, and National History Museum of Kyrgyz Republic, ICOM-Mongolia, College of Arts and Designs of University of Punjab, and other crucial stakeholders for this excellent synergetic initiative in organizing the International Virtual Conference on Museums 2021 under the theme of Silk Road Heritage Collection and Connections with Museums. As we know, during the 70th General Assembly of the United Nations in 2015, 193 member states of the United Nations have all agreed to make a historic decision to launch the SDG goals, also known as Agenda 2030, which has 17 goals and 169 specific targets to provide a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Each goals address wide spectrum of social, economic, and environmental challenges that our world encounter. As its goal is to create a better society, contributing to the SDGs is not only government duty, it's for everyone, regardless of where we are from and what we do. SDGs provide the opportunity for all government organizations, private organizations, civil society organizations to unite under one common goal, vision, and mission, strive towards the sustainability. We cannot imagine SDGs without museums, as museums are one of the most imperative components to its implementation across the globe. Museum is not only a place, it's an expression of history, culture, peace, knowledge, as well as a bridge that connects us to the past, present, and the future. In this context, UNESCO, as the sole UN agency with a specific mandate on culture, considers museum is one of the most fundamental part of culture. In 2015, UNESCO has launched the recommendation concerning the protection and promotion of museum collections, which emphasize on museum significance and ways to protect and promote museums. I would also like to take this opportunity to inform you about UNESCO's 6 cultural conventions in line with SDGs and various aspects of culture. We know there are 6 culture conventions which adopted UNESCO and implementing its member states who joined these conventions. All of these conventions implementations directly associated with museums, as museums contribute to preservation, protection, and promotion of all types of intangible, tangible cultural heritage and natural heritage. It can be also inferred museums are deeply associated with almost every goal of SDGs. For instance, museums are a space for people of any age group to explore, learn, discuss multi-sectoral knowledge and contributes to the lifelong process, which is directly associated SDG goal 4 on education. Museums raise awareness of the value of the cultural and natural heritage. It teaches people to be responsible, caring, and collaborative.
Sorry, I interrupt you. Do you have
Yes.
any presentation? We couldn't see.
No, I don't have.
No, thank you. Okay,
Okay.
please go on.
Museums raise public awareness. This is in turn links with the goal 12 on responsible consumption, goal 13 on climate change, and goal 14 on life below water, and goal 15 on life on land. Furthermore, museums strengthen holistic partnership between government and non-government organizations. This is the goal 16 on peace, justice, and strong institutions, and goal 17 on partnership. Economically, museums support economic development through developing tourism and cultural and creative industry, as well as creating employment opportunity, which is the part of global goal 8 on decent work and economic growth, and goal 9 on industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Utilizing this opportunity, I have an honor to inform you, every honorable guest, that the year 2021 has been declared as the International Year of Creative Economy during the 14th Intergovernmental Committee of UNESCO 2005 Convention in February 2021. And again, museums are a vital part of the creative economy and tourism-based economy. In this pandemic, the world has encountered a lot of cultural emergency and hindrances in our progress to achieve the SDGs. Within the UNESCO 2005 Convention of Protection and Promotion of Diversity of Cultural Expression, UNESCO launched the Resilient movement on April 2021 on World Art Day, organized in many countries, such as 110 countries across the globe. Mongolia also joined this initiative and organized 5 series of debates. One of our debates focused on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the museum sector of Mongolia and digitalization as well. And Dr. Buma, our moderator, was today's session, was moderate the resilient debate on museums we had. So, findings indicated that the consequences of the pandemic, digitalization provides various opportunities for museums, and more actions need to be taken to strengthen local, regional, international partnership. I therefore see that this conference is adding value to our international cultural cooperation. I would like also express my gratitude to the organizers for linking this conference with the Silk Road. Historically, Silk Road wasn't only a road where travelers from many nationalities engaged in commercial exchange. It was a road of continuous exchange of knowledge, belief, lifestyle, and culture. This remarkable spirit of intelligence, peace, creativity, openness, inclusiveness, collaboration become a great collection of heritage of human civilization. Therefore, Silk Road has added splendid chapter to the history of human progress. Museums are places of cultural heritage, ensuring the continuity between past and the innovations of today. They are also centers of learning and discovery, a point of contact for local communities with their cultural roots. Museums are the precious key to discover and learn about ancient Silk Road. Without museums, ancient cultural objects of Silk Road route will not have come. Therefore, Silk Road and its connection with museums is very significant to us. Thereafter, UNESCO launched the UNESCO Silk Road program, given the reach and historic significance of Silk Road. This program is highly important as it increases global awareness of a unique history of mutual cultural exchange of Silk Road and revive the historic networks and partnerships in a digital environment. Within UNESCO Silk Road program, there are various initiatives such as International Network for the Silk Road program, which ensures the participation of member states and assists in providing knowledge for focal points to achieve goals of the program. And Mongolia is the current member of this network. Plus, there are other initiatives such as Youth Eyes on Silk Roads, International Photo Contest, and Silk Roads Youth Research Grant, which all of them aim to increase awareness of Silk Road to young generation. Moreover, UNESCO has created Silk Road online platform, which allows people to have a deeper understanding of diversity and interdependence of the cultures and peoples along these routes. In other words, the platform allows us to access unique source of original information, photographies, and activities regarding the Silk Road. As part of the UNESCO Silk Road program, the International Institute for the Study of Nomadic Civilizations, it's a Category 2 center of UNESCO. Main focus of its is on archaeology, nomadic culture, history, religion, and spirituality. It was established in 1998 and is still operating. We, in July 28, had collaborated with this institute and organized the Silk Road and Karakorum International Conference. This conference generated opportunity to review some 20 academic papers on ancient cultural heritage of the nomadic people and their connection to the Silk Roads. In addition, we also, in support of the UNESCO Silk Road platform, has organized experts meeting to contribute to the creation of interactive atlas for cultural dialogue along the Silk Road in cooperation with the Institute for the Nomadic. It also includes the Mongolian Academy of Science and the other stakeholders as well. Also, we have completed the nomadic corridor in the Tea Road, historical experience and present cultural dialogue project to identify main road of the Mongolian section of the Tea Road and its possible branches on the basis of scientific studies and research. As part of the this project, we organized the conference in Ulaanbaatar, and the conference incorporated experts from approximately 11 countries. This year, we are also plan to organize seminar concerning heritage of the Silk Road and tourism regarding the ancient Karakorum city in Urhanga province of Mongolia. As you know, Karakorum is one of the most crucial historical cities of the Silk Road, as it was strategically located on the most important east-west route of the Silk Road. As such, our contribution is vital for implementation of the Silk Road program and for the preservation, protection, and promotion of museum collections, as well as for SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. Therefore, I strongly believe that today's conference on museums adds significant value to the Silk Road program and strengthen our cooperation in the museum sector. Once again, I would like to hereby thank the distinguished guests, organizers, panel speakers, and culture professionals for participating in this remarkable conference on museums 2021. Let's stand together and strengthen our synergies to create a more sustainable future, including museums. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much to Mrs. Oying Sukpatar for interesting keynote speech. We are very glad to have you here because UNESCO is such an important international organization which is support our museums. Mongolian National Commission for UNESCO has a long relationship with Mongolian museums and implemented a special project for all Mongolian museums, sustainable museums in Mongolia. This project was in 2015, and we think this project made a lot of contributions to development of Mongolian museums. Thank you for all things for our Mongolian museums. And again, thank you to Oying Sukpatar, Secretary General Mongolian Nation Commission for UNESCO. Now, in our agenda, I will talk about Mongolian museums. First of all, I will give brief introduction, brief history of the museums in Mongolia, and then I will little bit brief analyze or summarize tendencies and challenges of the Mongolian museums in present days. You see the Mongolian map and flag. Mongolia is a landlocked country between Russia and China. And my content is, as I said, a brief history of museums in Mongolia and tendencies, challenges, and some ideas. Because the role of the museum in society is crucial question, I think. You see the we had one museum or collection in 18th century. Now this place is the monastery and tourist and pilgrims destination in Gobi, Mongolia. First modern museum in Mongolia opened for public in 1924. This first collections was last king of Mongolia, Bogd Javzandam Khan's private collection, and our scientific committee hold active work for collecting Mongolian collection. Also, I want to mention Russian scholars such as Kozlov and American researcher Andrews contributed in the collection of first museum in Mongolia. You see the Winter Palace of Bogd, last king of Mongolia. Museum was moved to this building, this first photo. Then this complex monastery is now Bogd Palace Museum. This is also very big tourist place. All foreign tourists coming to see this our last king's palace museum. This is the little bit history. This is maybe not such interest for you. This is the museum named Karhoru Museum. In this museum was built by Japan government in the area of the capital city of Mongolian Empire in 13th century. This the big basin river Orkhon, where very ancient cultures of nomadic empire. We have many archaeological monuments we have, and many countries with Mongolian archaeologists hold different archaeological expeditions. And collections of the German expedition most we shown in this museum and the other different expeditions we have displaying in this museum. This is the in the Mongolian steppe. There is a small museum called the Hushozaitum Museum, created by Turkish government, in the site of ancient Turkish state, 6th and the 8th century. This now today in the government plan included building of the new museums from 2021 2025. First museum is the called Chinggis Khan Museum. This is now you will see in the video. There is now we built in the new building in the right side of the government building. Then the new building will be for Mongolian Natural History Museum near the river tool. This is the also very nice natural place. Then we'll be also planning to build archaeological ethnography museum nearby capital city of Ulaanbaatar. Also, some museums will have new buildings. This is the South Gobi and East Mongolia and the place where Chinggis Khan was born. This will be also new province museum. This I put this slide because you can visit this Google Cultural Institute home to see some our museums introduction and photos. Now I go into the talk a little bit about tendencies and challenges. First, I want to note that Mongolian government has policy of reforms to improve social responsibility and accountability of museums. The museum sector is today developing. Even we have COVID pandemic in our country. In one hand, in the another hand, of course, we have many face many difficulties. Now, in general, we have many new museums buildings, and government approved the new museum law in the beginning of the 2021. And we hope and we see this new museum law creates an opportunity for investments in museum sector will be increased. Also, this new thing is the government will introduce reward system provision for museum staff who care for the collection. Mostly it will be keepers, storage keepers in the museums will have some reward system from government. And also this one thing is the all museums of Mongolia, including private museums, will have pre-entry for Mongolian children under 16 years old. This is the new thing in museum history. Our main museum currently, National Museum of Mongolia, in the building of Museum of Revolution. This museum, you see, has different collection. We can say that this collection is the most valuable museum objects which we have in Mongolia. You see, we have prehistory and early states in Central Asia, Hunnu, Turkey, Uyghur, and Khitan states, and the Mongolian Empire, and Mongolian traditional culture, and middle history of Mongolia, and 20th century of Mongolia, beginning of 20th century. This is the theocratic monarchy, then socialist Mongolia, and democratic periods. We display all period of Mongolian history. This is I put this photo because you will see we using the unique objects also promoting for children using in educational work. This is our traditional costume hall, which our museum is proud to be here. Traditional costumes of different ethnic groups in territory of Mongolia. This is most of population is Mongolians is half women, half people. More than 80% of all population is half people. You see some of the ethnic groups heads, Buryat, Kazakh, and Khalkh heads. Kazakh people is Muslim, Turkic people. This National Museum is introduced different innovations. This is still only National Museum has family ticket because most of our visitors are foreigners, foreign tourists. This is very common for many Mongolian museums. Museums has money for summertime, but domestic visitors not much willing to come. We have less visitors, Mongolians, especially adults is not enough visiting museums. So we introduced family ticket. Also, this one is tendency is now many museums in Mongolia doing facility for people with disabilities. This is the National Museum of Mongolia. Also, we have so many projects. One of projects is this virtual classroom and cross-cultural exchange with teenagers. This is I included this photo because now during the pandemic will be very important. Also can be implemented such projects. Teenagers or kids of two countries can have a project contacting virtual classes and can be implement such projects. This is also we inventing technology in Mongolian museums. One of them is this project. This equipment, LED lights in the exhibition halls and some preservation of equipments from Japan. This is also one of the project, which is technology introduced in the National Museum of Mongolia. This is I want to show this Mongolians also like to visit museum. Just our museum should be more active to bring them to the museum, to activate our activities for public. This is the Fine Art Sun Bazaar Museum, introducing the virtual technique, and one new technology is you read the augmented reality classes in Mongolia. This museum is first introduced this technology, new technology. The behind photo is the petroglyphy in Mongolia. This the new thing also in museum history. Mongolian Theater Museum started new project. This called Cave Auditorium, which means they built artificial cave in this museum, and musicians of the traditional band or ensemble will play by music. This music, they created new music. This museum found from the archaeological findings. This very unique musical instrument. This project will be connect Mongolian Museum material culture with the immaterial culture. In museum will be hold events for visitors. Now Mongolian museums organized many exhibitions in different countries. I will show some pictures of the new exhibitions. This exhibition was in Denmark, 2 cities, Moscow Museum and National Museum of Denmark. You see the name of this exhibition. This also big exhibition in National Museum of Korea. Also, we have cooperations with museums which are related to Silk Road. This one museum is the museum in China, in Xi'an City. Tang West Market Museum is private museum. There is big international forum, Silk Road Forum. And we organized an exhibition in China. This called also Sharing a Common Future, exhibition of treasures from national museums along the Silk Road. Our museum contributed 28 displays related to the Silk Road culture and history. You see some of them. This also exhibition in China, in the National Museum of China, and also Hainan was held this exhibition. This was big exhibition of Asian civilizations. You see the 47 countries in Asia was participated in this exhibition. This is the Museum of Bogota Museum, Han Palace Museum photo was included in the communication kit for International Museum Day 2002 and International Museum Day 2021. This also the Mongolian. This also activity for International Museum Day 2020. Mongolian Military Museum greetings with International Museum Day posters. And I also this boy from Bayumulgi province, where Kazakh people lived. And these two photos was in the ICOM Facebook before I included in this presentation. And I want to read some my ideas also here. Mongolian National Commission for UNESCO, in collaboration with the UNESCO Beijing office, 2021 is organized the Resilient Art for this virtual debate by themed impact of COVID pandemic on Mongolian museum sector and the digitalization. There is during this discussion, we discussed the situation of Mongolian museums and how to overcome these difficulties. And we found that number of visitors in Mongolia declined 3 times. Last year, this year, because museums was closed for more than a year. And museum operations during the pandemic was transitioned into a digital environment. Here I want to note that National Museum of Mongolia, Zanbazar Museum of Fine Art, and National Arts Gallery have held a visual exhibition. This also has introduced many technology. This is the virtual reality and augmented reality. Also, I think providing remote services to customers, technological equipment based challenges are common issue for every museum in Mongolia. Now we shift the physical exhibition into a virtual exhibition. We trying to shift, but we need to establish electronic database for researchers and public. Now Mongolian Museums has just electronic basis for museums, I think. Also, I want to conclude my presentation that the museums can play a big role in the civic dialogue among national population, Mongolian population, and also can be a bridge for past and present history, and bridge for cooperation between different nations. You see the good example is our International Virtual Museum Conference. This is the, I think, I see the, among cultural institutions in Mongolia, Mongolian museums has more opportunity to cooperate with other museums and to see different experiences from different museum colleagues, because we have our heritage. We hold with our museum Mongolian cultural heritage, material evidence of the Mongolians, and if we will add content of the not material culture, we can be have more achievements, I think. Thank you. This is, I finish my presentation. Now, I want to invite Dr. Paisahan Jamsaranjo. He is an archaeologist at the Department of Max Planck Institute for the Science of Human History. His topic of the presentation is some collections related to the Silk Road in the National Museum of Mongolia. Baisahan received his bachelor's degree in the history from National University of Mongolia, and his doctor made in the tea stone material culture. Now I will finish my okay. He defended his PhD dissertation on Mongolian Bronze Age tea stone culture at National University of Mongolia. From 2003 to 2020, he worked at National Museum of Mongolia as curator and head of Museum's Research Center. With international colleagues, he seeks to understand the broad range of Mongolian nomadic culture using archaeological evidence and material culture. Between 2008 and 2011, he led a project for the restoration and documentation of the largest tea stone site in the world, located in the Jarlanting in central Mongolia, which was financed by U.S. Ambassador's Fund for Cultural Preservation. In 2017, he discovered one of the most important cemeteries of the nobility of Mongolian Empire, which has been aggressively looted, and the cultural materials from which Dr. Baisahan's work has sought to salvage and project. Because he is one of his areas, the protection of the cultural heritage. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Baisahan present his paper. Are you there, Dr. Baisahan? Please share your presentation, screen share. Dr. Baisahan, can you hear me? Maybe more read about him. Where is he is? Bayra яасан. Баяр сайхан яасан бол?
Яагаад саяхан түрүү ихэд байжсэн шүү дээ.
He's now in the session.
Yeah, sorry, my computer suddenly shut down, so I'm back again. We are whole. Tanu.
Please, you can share your presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have some technical problem on my computer. Can you see my presentation now?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, first, I really want to express my gratitude for all these great organizers and so the stakeholders of this conference. So unfortunately, I invited for this this conference is very short time, couple of days ago. So I'm not prepared well, but yeah, I worked hard for a couple of days for doing this, done this presentation about Silk Road collection at the National Museum of Mongolia. So title of my presentation is limited by just collection at the National Museum of Mongolia. But really, I want to share some historical involvement of the nomadic empires since Shunnu to the medieval Mongol era with you today. So, but the time is limited, so I understand that. So my presentation is generally like introducing the historical involvement of the nomadic empires to the Silk Road and some cultural, material and intellectual heritage related with Silk Road in Mongolian museums and Mongolian archaeological heritage. So I want to introduce. So let me cut this. So the involvement of the nomadic involvement in the Silk Road, this big, trading route during the historical time. First, ancient in-region nomads built their own unique civilizations. They were involved in economic and cultural relations with their southern neighbors and with the settled civilizations of Central Asia and West through the Silk Road. So it is no coincidence that in the course of history, the nomadic peoples of the eastern steppes moved westward when weakened by internal and external crises. Historical sources show that Shunnu and later nomadic states tried to control the Silk Road and acted as intermediaries for the goods that passed through the Silk Road. Due to the scarcity of agriculture and exotic products from the settled civilization and the fragile economy of the nomads. According to recent research, the first major migration from the present-day Mongolia to the west took place in the 8th century BCE. It's shown by the Mongolian earthstone hexer culture, late Bronze Age. The relationship of the nomadic states with the Silk Road was driven by the following motivations during the historical time. First, they controlled and taxed the Silk Road, acting as the intermediary in the goods and acquiring silk, fabric, and grain, in addition to the foreign luxury items, to expand their foreign relations, to barter horses and livestock and hunting products, to import any religion and culture. So it's therefore is not only import, they exchange the religion and culture between along the Silk Road during the historical time. So the officially Silk Road, started in like middle of the 2nd century BC. But the Shunnu Empire established in late 3rd century. So after the several decades and this big, the trading road established and across the Eurasian landscape. So, and when the Silk Road started to play the main role of this big, the trading and the exchange of the culture between the Eurasian countries. So the main focus of Shunnu Empire was, the focus on the northern branch of the Silk Road, just behind the Tian Shan Mountains. So it was important source of the wealth and handicrafts of the agriculture products for them. This part of the Silk Road presented the key opportunity for the Shunnu control. One of the two primary intents of the Shunnu the foreign policy was to maintain influence of the Far West and to receive taxes from them. It can be said that the purpose of this policy wasn't limited not only tax, but also to obtain the proper share of the Silk Road trade. Although this section of the road was the shortest and least obstacle, but the Han Dynasty opened the two southern branches, the circumvent Shunnu control. These roads were less indirect, and also included more natural obstacles. You can see this. The northern road was, the main focus of the Shunnu Empire. So according to the archaeological historical sources, there was so many political problems between Shunnu and Han Dynasty during the historical time, almost 300 years. So, the archaeological heritage and archaeological evidences in modern Mongolia prove that there was rich interaction and rich connection between along the countries between the nomadic empire Shunnu and other countries. So you can see on this slide, there are several dots on the Mongolian territory. This is the site location, and these other objects they unearthed from this site locations. So you can see that all in eastern and the western, originated objects from the Shunnu archaeological sites, mainly from the Shunnu tombs. Most of them uncovered from the Shunnu aristocrats' tombs. So in the National Museum of Mongolia, we have also the rich collection from the Shunnu time period related to the Silk Road history and culture. So you can see this all different kind of, the beads, stone, and different type of material made by different type of materials. So this beads discovered in most northwest Shunnu cemetery called in Zamingutug in Zunhangasom in northwestern Mongolia. So according to material analysis, and so these beads not only come directly from China. So we identified this composition of these beads is really close to the beads from the Pakistan and northern India. So must be this collection, came from by Silk Road from the Pakistan in, or northern India in the Shunnu time period. So there are rich collection in Mongolia. We have rich collection from about the beads and stone and different kind of beads. In the National Museum also we have some Chinese originated collection from the very famous the cemetery called cemetery site at the Noinol in northern Mongolia. You can see these jade objects and some lacquer cups with Chinese characters on it, and also some Han silk fabric collections from the Noinol. So this Noinol site was, is the very famous site and discovered in early 19th, and first, the Shunnu cemetery discoveries did by Russian explorers in 1924, and they excavated several for several aristocratic tombs, and later several expedition did the excavation on this site. Still, this site is, the archaeologists uncovering the amazing objects from this site. So this is also one of the national treasure object discovered from the Shunnu Noinol site. And so it's like the mixture of like Chinese Han Dynasty silk and local felt, and also the local artists, the like mixture. It's like amazing piece of, the how culture mixed in, and the cultural exchange, and so put them together and made a nice art piece. So again, so there are so many Shunnu objects, Shunnu symmetries, like revealing like the objects from the originally originated from the Western countries like Greece and Roman origination, originally, came from that far west. So, for example, this first glass bowl was found from the Kolma-2 site in central Mongolia, and this nice silver disc with some Greece gods, legendary gods on it. So it's discovered from also Noinol, that the site I mentioned before. And also this stone pendants found from the Shunnu graves in southeastern Mongolia, and two different sites. Oh, this amazing embroidery pieces found in the recent excavation in Noinol site by Russian Mongolian archaeologists. And so, and the scholars believe this is maybe some embroidery came from Persian Parthian Empire during the Shunnu time. Also, it's a really interesting piece of, the related with Silk Road trading, exchanging history. So after Shunnu time, and so we have two ancient states like Xianbei and Roran states, but these two states still, the Mongolian archaeologists looking for the archaeological remains from that time period, but we have lack of sites, lack of finds from this to almost 500 years, the like archaeological time period. And so and after that in Turk and Uyghur state time period, like started in 550 to ended in 840, almost like 300 years history and culture, and related with very closely in the Silk Road, trading and exchanging, culture exchanging. And that time period, like parallel with the Tang Dynasty in China. So it was the golden age of the Silk Road. Most of the scholars believe it was, the one of the golden time for the Silk Road culture. So during the Turkic and Uyghur periods, trade between Central and Eastern Asian regions and countries expanded beyond the levels of the earlier Shunnu and Xianbei and Roran periods to become a stable trade network reaching across Asia and Europe. Central Asian Sogdian traders played important role in this process in this time period. The Central Asian Sogdians were the main, the traders and also the partners of the Turkic and Turko-Uyghur empires during this time. The Hukturk is in return for the protecting Sogdian traders along the Silk Road, levied taxes, and they called in protection taxes and transit taxes. At the same time, in Turkish trade the silk and other fabrics from the Tang Dynasty border to the west through the Sassanid Empire and also Byzantine Empire. One of many new cultural phenomena that entered Mongolia through the Silk Road during this time, its Uyghur period, was Manichaean religion came to in Mongolia by the Uyghur leadership. So this is the intellectual heritage, the like religion came, the in Mongolian land in that time from through the Tang Dynasty and Sogdian traders. We have so many archaeological remains related with this time period. For example, in this stone inscription called the Bogot site in Arhanga in central Mongolia, there the Sogdian inscription, this carved on them and mentioned about some Turkic history and mentioned about some kings of Turkic Empire. This second inscription is very interesting. Recently, it's like discovered and read it by American and some and Inner Mongolian scholars. It's written by Brahmi inscription, but in Mongolian language in the Turkic time period. So it's mentioned about the one queen is like making some ritual or the sacrificial event in around 601 AD. And these two Sogdian or the Central Asian men's imagery or the figure unearthed from the Turkic tomb and excavated in Bolgan Aymak Bayınor Som Ulankerim near some ancient settlement nearby the ancient settlement from the Kedan and Turkic time period. So this is very interesting. There are hundreds of like this the mud figures and very amazing the mural painting discovered from this tomb. And so there are so many objects related with the the Silk Road and that time period. And now the National Museum of Mongolia have also the rich golden and silver objects unearthed from the Bilge Hans, the one of the famous king named is Bilge in central Mongolia. So the archaeologists discovered in this Sogdian type of golden and silver utensils or the vessels, ritual vessels, and early 2004-5, almost 15 years ago. So the whole collection is stored in the National Museum of Mongolia and displayed on the permanent exhibition these days. And also there's interesting salvage coins and from the Sasanian Empire in Iran, the ancient empire established in Iranian land and that during the Turkic time period. So this golden, the silver coins suddenly just found from in central Mongolia by the local men. So there was no archaeological remains, there was no site. And so it's like maybe in ancient times, someone just buried under the ground. And after hundreds of the years, and the one local herder found it, and also it's received in the National Museum recently. And these golden objects, golden coins from the Byzantine coins, so discovered from the same site I mentioned before, the previous slide. It found with the mud figure and horse riders in with the tomb with mural painting. And over time period, so they mentioned about Manichaean religion so many times, and so there's so many influence from the Manichaeism, and in that time period. For example, this beautiful stone inscription still left in the near this Harbalgas, big capital city of the Uyghur Empire. So they mentioned about how they imported the Manihan religion in that time period, in order to the Uyghur king Boku, and also the closed mountain in there has this kind of stone stupa idea of Manihan type of stone tower or stupa. Recently discovered two of them in nearby this Harbalgas, capital city of Uyghur. And also there are several coins related with Manihan religion and idea philosophy in Mongolia during the time period. Some of them found the Harbalgas and same the capital city I mentioned before. After this, in Ketang state, we call Khitan, but in the Western countries, Western schools call in Liao dynasty or Liao state. And in this time period, so the center of this dynasty wasn't in Mongolian, the modern Mongolian land. It was settled, the centered in in Inner Mongolia, today's Inner Mongolia. So it's like south, northeastern China now today. Yeah, this time period so very interesting. There were a number of reasons. The Khitan signed the peace treaty with Sun dynasty in 1005. This treaty ended the war. The war established an administrative district in Mongolia and stationed a large number of troops in the region. Among this reason were they want to control and stop the movement of the local tribes across Mongolian territory, to restore the security of the steppe road to the west of the former Uyghur kingdom. Because of, the main road of Silk Road was blocked by Tanguts because they plundered and so they looted and killed many Silk Road traders during that time. That's why they restored the northern road in this time period. And in recent decade, the last decade, and so Mongolian archaeologists found so many Khedang walled settlements in Mongolian territory, and also some guard and signal towers nearby this walled sites. So probably this was, the protection and also stop stations of the Silk Road traders in that time period. So, for example, you can see this the location of these ancient settlements, Khitan settlements, along the Tol rivers and Herlin rivers in Mongolian territory. So, and this beautiful tower and stupa, and also in that time period from the Eastern Mongolia. And the general type of the settlements is like the square wall, dirt wall or stone wall, and there are so many there were so many building or the living traces and inside and outside of this walled settlements, and some agriculture fields and also discovered by archaeologists. And also they have so many studies with Russian team and Chinese team, international team working on these sites in these days. So, and the final part of my presentation, I shortly talk about the Silk Road during the Mongolian Empire time. So, I hope the director Shinebat yesterday he talked about Karakorum and the Silk Road relation or connection according to the program. So I'm not talking about long about this, like Karakorum or the Mongol Empire involvement or the exchange, cultural exchange and political exchange along the Silk Road. I really shortly I want to say that the Mongol Empire time period was also the next golden age of the Silk Road or the trading road between the Europe and Asia and the whole world in that time period. So, and according to historical sources, and so during the Chinggis Khan and his descendants time period, so, and it was very peaceful and so really active.
Okay, very sorry, Baira.
Okay.
Time is out.
Okay. So yeah, it was very peaceful and active road in that time period, and the historical sources said in that time period. So even the single lady can go, go with the full of treasures across this road without any protection. So, and according this note, so it's like incredible time to trading and exchanging culture and the material and the intellectual culture during this Mongol Empire time. So end of this project, and so I want to introduce the short, shortly my recent discovery did in northern Mongolia. So this cemetery called Horug Mountain. So it's medieval aristocratic cemetery. Unfortunately, it was destroyed and looted by the black archaeologists in a few years ago. So, and, our team found it suddenly by the local herders' information. So there was thousands of interesting treasures, and so the objects and pieces we found, and I want to introduce only the 3 objects from that side. So this is the Yuan Dynasty ceramic with dragon image, the dragon pattern outside, and so inside there was the silk, the milk dairy products preserved because it was in the permafrost area on the top of the mountain. So even 700 years, the dairy products like preserved like newly in this pot, and also some golden and jewelry with the Persian inscription. And some scholars believe this part of the inscription called, written by Hang or king by Persian script. And of course, there is so many golden silks, and so the very prestige and high level of the fabrics found. For example, these 2 figures, and now in the New York Museum, and they believe this is Yuan Dynasty King Togtomur and his brother. So you can see this how close this silk part, and so the kaftan he wore under this embroidery, and so. And time is limited. Thank you for attention.
Thank you, Dr. Baira. Very excellently talked to us. Namat involvements in the Silk Road, collection of the National Museum of Mongolia. You see the National Museum of Mongolia presents early culture of Hunnu, Turkish, Uyghurs, and Khitans. So National Museum of Mongolia promotes respect for other ancient cultures. And thank you for Baira, because time is very tight. Now I want to invite our presenter, Mrs. Orton Surun. She is director of the Chorchen Lama Temple Museum and vice chair of ICOM Mongolia. Her topic is museum is an important base for creating social communications. Ms. Orton Surun, she is the director of Chorchen Lama Museum since 2010. Before she was managing National Art Gallery of Mongolia, and she is graduated University of Humanities Bachelor in German Linguistics and Translation Law School of National University of Mongolia, and she was implementing many projects at the Churchill Lama Temple Museum. Has been organizing now photo exhibition about her museum in many countries of Europe. And now I would like to invite Ms. Artonsuren to present her presentation. Please, Artonsuren, please share your screen. Share screen. Then the full screen, please. Your time is 15 minutes. 15. You have 15 minutes. Please.
Hello everyone. I'm Artonsuren, Director of Church and Lama Temple Museum. Today I would like to talk about museum as facilitator, a social interaction, case of the Church and Lama Temple Museum. I prepared my presentation on experiences we developed at my museum, which is the Church and Lama Temple Museum, which is located at the very center of Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia. Here you can see the entire grounds of the museum. It consists of 5 individual temples and a big protection gray gate. It has big green areas and the garden. It's a green spot surrounded by tall modern buildings. Okay. Church and Lama Temple is the Church and Lama Temple Museum has a long and interesting history. It was built in early 1900 as a sitting place of Church and Lama, the state oracle. Mongolian name for a state oracle is Church and Lama. The who will foretell the future and trans state. So the name of the museum is the Church and Lama Temple Museum. Until 1938, it was a Buddhist temple, and then it was closed by the government. 4 years later, 1942, it reopened as a religious museum for international guests. In 2000, we became independent museum open to all visitors. Now I want to share with you some of our special programs. They are called special because they are specifically designed as social outreach in addition to our regular museum service. We serve everyone and also have special programs for children, adults, for people with disabilities, senior citizens, and etc. Now, first program, we call it Creative Children. It is a full-day program, a full-day activity for children involving painting, dancing, singing, arts and culture education. We are implementing this event annually since 2015. It means 6 years we already organized. I want to show you some highlights from this event. here you see the public engaged in different workshops. Some schools bring all their children, like school number 1, which brought about 140 students. You see the photos? Okay. Also, we went to special juvenile center. Just a second. Here we go. To visit about 30 children. We brought Museum in the Box education program. These are some art projects by participants. Museum in the Box is actually, it's not, some children cannot come to museum. There is some countryside children or very far from museum schools. And we just brought our Museum in the Box and just visit the other school and countryside. These are some projects by participants. In 2021, the Creative Children event was organized online due to the lockdown. One online event we carried out this year in online dance lesson. This is Mongolian. This is Mongolian traditional Bibilge dance, and we broadcasted live through our museum, our website, Bibilge Learning Lesson. Let me introduce a public event for adult audience. It's a very famous annual event, Night Museum, that the Chojin Lama Temple Museum first started in 2011. It's already 10 years ago. We have organized this event 10 years. This event is organized in one night in July, sometimes 2 times in July and August, because it's in outside in our garden. You know what, our temple museum is no central heating. That's why it's not possible. It's difficult to organize any event or exhibition in a temple. That's why we use to our garden, green garden outside in summertime. We invite professional artists to perform on the museum grounds, an open air concert in organized with about 500 to 700 guests. Here I would like to show you some pictures of museum night from different years. You can see 2015. We have in 2015 we partnered with folk band Husuktung, the runner-up of the Asia's Got Talent show. Guests are served light snacks before and during the performance. In 2016, we had Mongolian Marunhor ensemble is our guest performer. We also had a jazz performance, rock pop singers, also classic musics to perform at museum night. Yeah. Every year, the museum night event starts with a guided tour of the museum. Some years we presented special exhibits. You can see our exhibit. This is Cham dance exhibit. Also, we have masterpieces exhibition and how people sit there, and you can see that. Okay. Here I want to talk about our special program for seniors. So we have a yoga day at the museum. We invite interested senior citizens to join a yoga session. This event is organized on International Day of the Older Persons. We're doing it for the last 3 years. It's usually very nice if it's not raining outside, if it's nice outside. So next, this is my last program. I want to talk about is our disability awareness and inclusion program. As you know, last year, 2020, we have International Museum Day, Museums for Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion. So we follow this, and we have organized last May. We partnered with the District Disability Agency and invited people with disabilities to our museum. Here you can see performers, Buddhist monks who helped us during this event. You know, our temple museum is a Buddhist museum. That's why these monks were helped us. Also, TV journalists who promoted this event and the issue of disability awareness to general public. Yeah, next. On this slide, you can see students with hearing difficulties visiting our museum. The museum researcher and sign language interpreter providing explanation of religious and cultural artifacts to students. So this is the participants. Okay, so we have some time left, and here is what we did internationally, exhibited in Germany with the photo exhibit of Mongolian religious history. This was exhibition called Mandala Sacred Tantric Temple. In Germany, I was there with my 2 staff, and we have organized this exhibition in Germany library, and it was a very nice exhibition. And also we visited Poland and Bulgaria and Croatia with the Mandala exhibition. You can see these exhibitions. Okay, thank you. Let me finish here. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mrs. Atılsoren Doğusoren, Director of the Church Lama Temple Museum, for interesting presentation. And she very her talk was very interesting to know that she implemented different projects and broadened museums visitors audience, and we glad to have her presentation in this international conference. Thank you. Now I want to welcome Professor Dr. Truseva Olga. She is head of the Historical and Cultural Heritage and Tourism Altai State Pedagogical University, board member of the ASPAC. ASPAC means the Asian Pacific Committee of the ICOM, and board member of the ICOM Russia. And her topic is the Sansang Raku Museum collection of the cultural heritage along the ancient Silk Road, tea and flowers. Let me introduce her briefly. She is defended her PhD thesis on the analysis of the museum development in Western Siberia, and 2000 in Tomsk State University defended doctoral dissertation on the theme Museums of Siberia in the second half of the 20th century. She works as a vice rector of the Altai State Institute of Art and Culture and the chair of the Heritage and Tourism of the Altai State Pedagogical University. Dr. Truyevtseva is the author of the many books, textbooks, and scientific articles published in Russia, Germany, China, France, Taiwan, Brazil, Tunisia, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and Japan. Her research work connected with her international activities in the field of the museology, history of museums and heritage. She was twice elected as secretary of his international ICOM international committees, and she was directly involved in the preparation and holding an annual symposia. In 2003, she organized and headed the Regional Committee for Museology of Siberia, and the International Museological Symposium she was held in Tunis. And her professional interests are connected with the research on the history of museums, museology, heritage, regional museum studies, development activities of ICOM, ASPAC. And she is teacher of the many postgraduate doctors, and she opened a new scientific direction, museology and preservation of cultural heritage. It's the History Department of Altai State Pedagogical University. Postgraduate studies in the field museology, preservation, restoration of historical and cultural sites. And now I would like to invite her to present to us her presentation, please.
Thank you very much.
Professor Olga.
Thank you very much, Buma. First of all, I wanted to congratulate our dear colleagues from ICOM Pakistan.
Sorry, Olga, can I interrupt? Please arrange your computer screen. Your images not good, please. Your images.
If it's okay, do you see my presentation?
Mom Saadet, say your face is
not good. Please arrange your computer screen.
Лицо не видно, Ольга.
What can I do? What can I do?
Little bit.
Change.
Arrange your computer.
Move the computer.
Screen.
Please.
Move.
Like that.
Sit a little bit higher.
I don't know what I can do.
Maybe move.
Slideshow.
Okay, please.
Okay.
Share screen.
Only presentation. After I can show you my face.
Okay.
First of all, I want to congratulate our dear colleagues from ICOM Pakistan for your hard work. Great international forum. A lot of countries were involved. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be involved in your communications. I want to talk about 3 problems. First of all, it is Sansanraku Net Museum. It is a private museum and very rich collections. And tea house.
Sorry, Truetseva, do you have any presentation?
Yes, I have presentation.
We couldn't see. Please share with us.
You see or not presentation?
We can't see.
You can't see?
Yes.
Maybe Buma, please.
Okay.
Better for you.
Let me.
Okay, we see. Please, full screen.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
It is
now full screen already.
This is
okay.
And the first one. And can I change the first, please? Buma, please help me.
Okay.
Without your help, I cannot. The first, please.
This is not the first page, I think.
It is not the
this
first.
Is Dantsev.
It is not the
please
first.
Check it. Okay.
Oh, this one, yes. Sansanraku Net Museum of Asian Art. Collections of cultural heritage along the Asian Silk Road, tea and flowers. On its general conference 2019 in Kyoto, Japan, the International Council of Museums, ICOM, is again dealing with the development of proceeding of definition and the term of a museum. It is clear that almost 20 years ago, the museum changed in their structures, conceptions, relationships in their visitors. Basically, the Sanraku Net Museum of Asian Arts followed these developments and changes to the museum definition. Already since the late 19th of the 20th century, Sanraku is providing a model for a museum. Please, second page. In the course of digitalization of COVID in the past years, the net became of great importance. It is concerned a net museum like Sansanraku fulfills in a rich way the challenges according to the museum related to the scientific functions of collecting, preserving, documentation, presentation, and education. The real collections of artifacts, please second, of them, Buma, please second page, yes. You can see here the address of our site and the email, and we with great pleasure will connect with all of you. The real collections of artifacts of Central Asia, Southeast Asian countries are administrated at the headquarters of Sansanraku, Japan. The kinds of artifacts are particularly containing objects from all epochs of Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, and Korean art histories. They are based on different materials like bronze, ceramic, jade, porcelain, lacquer, natural indigenous materials. Rather more collection presented by the 4 arts: penmanship, calligraphy and painting, incense, tea culture, and flower cultivation. The 4 arts are connected with different materials, starting from the art conditions in each country in the course of the time. Here you can see the exhibition and publication of the museum, Sansanraku Museum. As you can see, it is catalogs and of exhibitions and catalogs of objects, artifacts. Many worked in the context of the behalf of the emperors of the numerous dynasties of China, Korea, and Japan. Other object traits or marks in the hundreds of important monasteries. From the ancient times, there are artistic, spiritual, and practical exchanges by craftsmen, trades, and businessmen. The great collections of Sansanraku reflect all of these points of view. The Sansanraku collections are living collections, permanently developing and improving on all fields of the Asian arts. Also, each of the artifacts is really existing. The Sansanraku Net Museum of Asian Art is a virtual, digital image of the reality. Also, the collections are very expensive. They work in the same way as material museum with show collections and storages. On this way, it is possible to work according to different themes and topics, and also to draft and to design mobile exhibitions with real objects. In parallel to the Net Museum, Sansanraku is since years working together with highly regarded museums like the Palace Museum and the Museum of History in Taiwan, Taipei, Mo Museum of Art in Atami, Japan, the museum in Xiamen, China, and others. There is also cooperation with art centers, tea houses, cultural institutions, university, and public institutions internationally. The recent exhibition, Tea and Flowers, took place in the Palace of Reconciliation and Tolerance in Nur-Sultan, former Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan, 2019. And this concern, the collector himself donated many artifacts in the National Museum of Nur-Sultan. Sansanraku Net Museum of Asian Art in this regard, not a museum in the well-known classical form, rather more one with an innovative conception. This combines the virtual and digital possibilities with the original ICOM, defined origin and the tradition. As well known, the museum world, the international presence allows the worldwide accessibility as well as the independence of the museum and the artifacts from the geographic choice of location. Every people can, from each starting condition, go to the website and deal with the numerous artifacts. Until now, even few museums all over the world use this occasion of an internet presence, visibility of this way. When we compare the development of museums of Washington, USA, Smithsonian, or the Rockefeller Museum of Art, we can conclude that Sansanraku Museum of Asian Art is also created by a pioneer who contemporarily uses the internet as a medium for presentation and communication. The Sansanraku collection, one of the most important in the Southeast Asian and Pacific areas, was gathered by an excellent expert domiciled in Taiwan and Japan, who studied art history, assessment, and analysis of artifacts, particularly at the University of Tokyo. From the typology of Sansanraku Net Museum of Asian Art is a museum that was designed by only one collector, an excellent expert and an idealist who follows the idea to enjoy the public of the Asian arts. And then I want to talk about collections. Please show the map. You can see, thank you. You can see ancient Silk Road since the Tang Dynasty led to India and Persia, to Qian, modern Xi'an, the ancient capital of China, and then continued to Korea and Japan. There were different roads on the north and the south between east and west, particularly the dangerous Taklamakan desert had to be traveled These desert were the biggest of the Asian continent. They had to overcome by the trading caravans. According, please follow the second one. According to the immigration of Chinese people, bases, elements belong to a city. These were the walls and the markets. The Eastern market and the Western market were the most important establishments for the citizens. During the Tang Dynasty, there were merchants from Turkey, Persia, Arab countries, Mongolia, India, Korea, and Japan. All of the languages of the Orient were used for the trading exchange. Persian people were particularly appreciated because of their extraordinary skills. As representative trade goods for the numerous foreign people served the famous Sansei ceramics from the Tang Dynasty, 218-907. Imports from other countries improved the life of the nobles. The trade goods included from east to west silk, tea, ceramic, plates, textile, bronze, cups, vases, medicine, gold artifacts, rice, paper, and perfumes, spices. From west to east, horses, grapes, dogs, and other animals, both exotic and domestic, honey, fruit, glassware, woolen blankets, carpets, textiles, gold and silver, weapons. More than 400 monasteries in the surrounding contributed additionally to the economic and spiritual bloom. In this concern, the tea and the building up of tea houses became trendy. Now, some words about tea houses. The tea house. In Southeast Asian countries, the tea house plays an extraordinary role in the culture and civilization. Already in the 15th century existed many treasures in Japan. They were regarded as particular sites. Philosophy, aesthetics, literature, and ethical questions were discussed. The ethics related to the central terms of Confucianism. The tea house served also the private communication by the medium of the tea. Only people who were invited became allowed to pass the entrance to a tea house. This is the case until now. There were also a philosophical and religious context, and additionally, aesthetic and spiritual principles. The tea house in Japan, often named as a tea cabin, a tea pavilion, a tea room made from wood, followed certain rituals or principles as harmony, respect, purity, and silence. Each of them served the tea ceremony. In this concern, developed ideal conceptions for a tea house. Tea house, very small, only 3 to 3 meters, altogether 9 square meters. In order to achieve these goals, 4 principles were incorporated in the parts conception with the equipped with stones, stone lanterns, water basin, a fireplace, and others. Harmony. Harmony means, on the one hand, the harmony among the people, the host and the guests, and on the other hand, also harmony among the equipment and artifacts in a tea house in the widest sense. It is also an expression of the spiritual harmony between the nature, the seasons, and the weather. Respect. Respect means the attention to our next human being, but also to the objects in use. This involves not only the attention to available objects, but also to those who the everyday life, those of the everyday life. Purity. Purity means to keep things tidy in different ways. Cleanness, the purity are the basis for the inner virtue and concentration. Above that, purity relates to the reduction to the essential things, maybe in the architecture or a tea house or on the preparation of a tea ceremony. Silence. Silence through the continuous practice on the three principles described. Gradually, witness is going to be adjusted. In this concern, silence is not only the lack of noise, rather more the inner silence and tranquility. Besides, in Japan, so-called dry gardens and stone gardens were very developed as very unique. Please return on one page. Buma. God, and then please after, and then please again. I want to show garden, tea garden. The Japanese tea garden should appeal to the senses by listening, looking, smelling, and feeling. And again, no. This is until now. You can see a tea garden around this room. By this is until now a museological approach on museum experiences. The art garden cultivation developed already since the Kamakura period. In Japan, when the Zen Buddhism was introduced, together with the spread of Zen Buddhism, the spiritual aspects of the tea extended. Please return. And then return, please, also. And then return. And then again, this one. Tea house. A tea house, a tea garden. The garden should imitate the nature and become included into the environment as a characteristic in order to promote the intentions of a tea house. It was thought as a kind of hermitage in the middle of the respective city or world in which everybody could withdraw. Therefore, in comparison to other perspective buildings in the Japanese architecture, the tea room focuses to the transcends. In this concern is to understand that tea and tea room are connected with the monastic life and the Zen monasteries. Finally, I want to say that our museum, San Sanraku Museum, have a lot of artifacts that concern not only Silk Road, but the other objects of culture. But we divided, first of all, Silk Road collection for 4 points. First of all, ceramics. You can see a lot of ceramics, but I want to talk about very expensive dark ceramics from Song Dynasty. Please, second this one. The temaku ware, a Japanese designation, was a kind of dark-colored bowls, which were esteemed as the ideal vessels for the tea ceremony. They influenced the craftsmanship of ceramics in a high degree. Up to now, these collections belong to the treasure of Japanese temples. Tea bowls were worked out in different materials and colors, and the focus was on the aesthetic and simplicity. Some of them are even registered as state treasure and cultural heritage, and therefore are not allowed to be exported. And then you can see not so many, only parts, very small part of our collection, but I think you enjoyed this collection. Please, Buma. This is China ceramic, and then dishes used by the people of China in the tea drinking procedure. This belonged to Ming Dynasty. And then tea drinking, China again, Ming Dynasty also. You can see here a beautiful picture with flowers, with dragon, with fish, and then Persia. It is a unique object. And then it is again Persia and Korea Celadon, 12th century. Very original, very unique. And then teapots. A lot of teapots in our collections. You can see here some of them. I think you like it and enjoy. Ming Dynasty again. And after, finally, also lacquer was included in the ceremonies for tea. In Japan, the crafts was defined by the tea societies. From here developed, part by part, a more aesthetic tea culture. In this relationship, the consideration of the tea tools and artifacts played a significant role. They were not only tea bowls, excuse me, please. Tea bowls, they were not only tea bowls and the tea tools, but much more also the Japanese lacquer and vessels for water and vases and tea cut and artifacts. The philosophy behind the Zen Buddhism plays an important role in the relationship between tea cut, artifacts, and the philosophy behind. As a Zen Buddhism teaching tradition, the Rinza Shu became of great importance. Firstly, it was in 1191 introduced by Mayan Asian, a Buddhist priest. He was the author of the tradition of Silk Road and Persian architecture and design. Another object of our museum, flower arrangement. But the furniture also is object, very important object of our collections. And then bronze table for ceremony, also Ming Dynasty from wool, and then bronze. It is a unique collection of bronze artifacts. A lot of objects we have in our collection. And at the end of my speech, I want to say that we have a lot of objects, and we often prepare flower arrangements. But I wanted to talk about flower arrangements on another our session, which we will prepare in April 2022 in my university. Also painting, a lot of objects of painting. You are welcome to our conference. You are welcome to Sansanraki Museum. We open for the people of the countries of all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Olga Truyevtseva, for good presentation and interesting presentation about the Sansaroku Net Museum of Asian Art. This was very interesting to know to us. This article was focused on the museums along the Silk Roads from the Southeast Asian countries to Central Asia, and to about the tea road trade material culture. Thank you again. Now we will move to the next presenter. He is the Valery Kolchenko, Research Officer at National History Museum of Kyrgyz Republic. His topic is the Great Silk Road Heritage, Buddhist Artifacts of National Historical Museum of Kyrgyz Republic. Please, Valery Kolchenko, start your presentation. Share your screen. No sound, please. Can you unmute your microphone? Are you there, Mr. Valery Kolchenko?
Okay.
Yeah, you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Я буду выступать по-русски, к
Please
сожалению.
full screen, make a full screen, please,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
presentation.
Full screen.
Окей?
Okay.
Хорошо. Мое выступление будет по-русски, потому что я полагаю, что хороший русский – это лучше, чем плохой английский. И в трансляции в YouTube, как обещают организаторы, будут идти титры на английском языке. Итак, мое выступление посвящено сегодня. Оно в какой-то степени продолжает вчерашнее выступление. Вчера я рассказывал о религиозном наследии Шелкового пути в коллекциях нашего музея, а сегодняшнее выступление будет посвящено только одной религии, такой как буддизм. Буддийские артефакты Национально-исторического музея Кыргызской Республики как наследие Шелкового пути. В нашем музее собрана, ну, по сравнению с индийскими, китайскими коллекциями, конечно, небольшая экспозиция, посвященная буддизму. Тем не менее, ну, потому что Кыргызстан, Средняя Азия – это прежде всего земля ислама, и все, что у нас находится не мусульманского, оно вначале воспринималось вообще как диковинка, как очень необычное нечто. Но сейчас уже понятно, что в средние века на территории Средней Азии и Кыргызстана, в частности, были разные религии, в том числе был достаточно мощно представлен буддизм. В нашей коллекции можно проследить 3 таких больших группы коллекций. Это, во-первых, средневековые артефакты, поступившие с раскопок и как случайные находки, привезенные из Китая или выполненные в китайских традициях на месте. Вторая группа – вещи, связанные с североиндийскими, ну, пакистанскими сейчас районами отчасти. Это совсем другая стилистика, и они более поздние. Если первая группа относится в основном к 7-8 векам, то вторая группа, она относится к 9, 10 и даже 11, 12 векам. И третья группа находок, она уже совсем поздняя, она связанная с калмыкской, джунгарской экспансией и относится уже к 18-му, началу 20 векам. Итак, древнейшие находки, которые были сделаны, ну, в смысле по времени, они были сделаны еще в середине прошлого века на городище Акбишим в Чуйской долине. Было найдено при раскопках несколько фрагментов каменных скульптур. Значительно позже была примерно в том же районе уже случайно найдена вот такая вот хорошая, красивая каменная стела, которая, ну, по вот этому вот элементу курильницы датируется специалистами в буддийском искусстве не позднее середины, конца 8 века. То есть данный артефакт, он выполнен в Китае, в китайском стиле абсолютно, и он датируется 8 веком. Интересно то, что при сопоставлении вот этой вот стелы и фрагмента, найденного в 30-х годах, получается весьма вероятно, что это от одного и того же изделия вещи, или, по крайней мере, что это вещи, сделанные в одно время одной рукой, и что они стилистически близки. Ну а сбоку показан как раз план всего городища Акбишим, который отождествляется с городом Суяб средневековым, известным столицей тюркских каганатов. Ну и здесь уже центральные развалины этого городища и непосредственно объект, где производились раскопки, где были найдены фрагменты скульптуры. Следующие большие раскопки на территории Кыргызстана буддийских вещей относятся к 1953-1954 годам, когда раскопки на том же Акбишиме производил Леонид Романович Кызласов, российский археолог из Москвы. Он вскрыл первый так называемый буддийский храм, и помимо глиняной скульптуры был найден вот такой вот комплекс бронзовых с позолотой блях ажурных. Интересно они тем, что повторяются одни и те же сюжеты, при том, что обрамления разные. Ну, даже не то, что повторяется, а в принципе это одна и та же центральная часть, а вот обрамления абсолютно разные. И даже если сравнивать Будду вот в этой композиции с другими Буддами, отдельно сидящими на лотосе и в такой розетке, то получается, что Будда очень и очень похож, если не с тем же штампом выполнен. Это, конечно, тоже китайские влияния, может быть, восточно-туркестанские, но не иначе. Еще одна находка, связанная прежде всего с Китаем, произошла недавно, в 2006 году. Она тоже носит случайный характер. Вчера я показывал с этой серии находок вещи джайнские, где джайн есть. А сегодня у нас вот такая вот вещичка именно буддийская, то есть, так сказать, пагода в китайском стиле абсолютно, 1000 Будд. Интересно то, что на обороте, верхней части только, ниже, значит, от другой, Есть гравировка, где мы видим китайского императора, опять-таки с пагодой в руках, традиционно китайские облака. То есть здесь как бы все понятно с теми, кто это производил и для чего делал. Но функциональное назначение этой вещички достаточно сложное, потому что здесь мы видим вот сверху обломаны какие-то выступающие части, по бокам какие-то крепления для штырей бронзовых. То есть, вероятно, какая-то достаточно сложная конструкция, типа, может быть, хранилище, реликвария. Аналога встречать не пришлось, поэтому я не могу сказать, что это такое было. Следующая интересная коллекция имеет тоже отчасти случайный характер. На средневековом городище Новопокровское II был построен дом культуры. При его строительстве как раз был найден вот этот вот комплекс вещей. Достаточно разнообразный, разнохарактерный. Ну, давайте пройдемся по деталям. Ну, прежде всего, зеркало. Здесь какие-то буддийские мотивы. По аналогиям оно относится к южно-сунскому периоду из Китая, ну или реплика китайских вещей того времени. Традиционные лебеди, гуси, Будда на фениксах, наверное. То есть эта вещь хорошо ложится в X-XI век, ну, в IX самое рано. Авалокитешвара Бодхисаттва, опять-таки красивое изображение в таком китайско-восточно-туркестанском стиле. Мы видим в одной руке, так сказать, сокровище, реликвию, в другом как раз-таки кувшин, что является признаком как раз Авалокитешвары. Здесь мы видим от другой какой-то переносной, это и та, и другая Авалокитешвары, от переносных алтарей бронзовых, где эти фигурки при совершении обряда просто вставляются в пьедестал определенный. И здесь мы видим другую, выполненную примерно в той же манере, хуже сохранившуюся, хотя позолота на ней лучше, чем на предыдущей, но есть какие-то утраты с потерями. То есть это тоже китайское влияние, на наш взгляд. Весьма своеобразная ваджра. Все привыкли, что ваджры имеют, ну, не 2 молнии, как здесь, а 4, а то и 8. Здесь их только 2. Подобная ваджра, что интересно, была найдена на Дальнем Востоке, связываясь с джурдженями, то есть это X-XI век. И в комплект входят 2 каменных вещи. С одной стороны, голова Будды, мы видим ушнишу хорошую, ну, достаточно типичная такая китайская вещь, на мой взгляд, хотя это небольшая, всего 3 сантиметра головка. И еще более интересный вот такая вот подставка под какую-то большую вещь, реликварий, возможно. Мы видим тонкие достаточно стенки, на них высоким рельефом такая композиция, где проповедующий Будда под аркой стоит, с двух сторон разные немножко композиции. Специалисты датируют вот этот фрагмент от 5 до 8 века и считают произведенным его в североиндийских провинциях, ну что-то типа Гилгита, Кашмира. И сомневаться не приходится. Возвращаясь к общему комплекту, получается, у нас есть вещи абсолютно китайские, даже дальневосточная, и какая-то вещь индийская. Причем датировки от 7-8 века до 10-12, а вот это может быть даже, ну, по некоторым данным, даже 3-5 век. То есть очень разнообразный географический комплект получился и очень разнообразный по датам. Но тем не менее он был найден где-то в одном месте на городище при выполнении строительных работ. Далее идет группа как раз североиндийских, ну, я говорю, отчасти сейчас уже части Пакистана, вещей. Первая из них, опять-таки, была найдена в далеком 1941 году, извиняюсь, Будда на троне с львами. По основанию идет благопожелательная надпись на санскрите, где указывается, кто нам подарил, кому подарил. По аналогиям с работами с долины Сват, прежде всего, она датируется X-XI веками. А напомню, что для территории Кыргызстана это уже время господства Караханитского каганата, время господства мусульманской династии, когда считается, что на территории нашей страны уже полностью господствовал ислам. То есть буддизм в это время продолжает жить, доживая свой век. Другая такая красивая очень находка, выполненная абсолютно в том же стиле, то есть тоже импортная вещь, но прежде всего такая сложная корона, характерная для мастеров долины Свата, инкрустация серебром и бронзой, и медью. Губы, видите, зеленые они, потому что специально покрыты медью. Очень тонкая работа, аккуратно все сделано, но вот изящные пальчики. То есть вот такая вот вещичка пришла по шелковому пути в Кыргызстан. Еще одна вещь, по всей видимости, импорт опять-таки оттуда же. Это Важакун, то есть воинственный такой персонаж, защитник, он бывает и добрым, и злым. В буддизме, как все бывает. У него в руках две ваджры. К сожалению, не очень повезло ему с нахождением, но вот так было найдено. И еще одна североиндийская вещь, которая также датируется рубежом 1-2 тысячелетия, тоже случайная находка, Будда отдыхающий. Не часто такие делаются, когда одна нога спущена, вторая сидит, но тем не менее было найдено. Следующая группа относится к поздним находкам, связанным с джайнизмом. Ну, прежде всего, достаточно много имеющих аналогов. Они в ГИМе, в германских музеях, не говоря уже про китайские. Таких вещей много. Авалокитешвара, многострадальная, сторукая, тысячеглазая, как ее называют. Но вот такая вещь и в нашем музее имеется. Странная вещь, которой мне не удается найти аналоги. Будда, выполненный из латуни. Он, как вы видите, внутри полый абсолютно, то есть тонкий листовой вещь сделана красиво. Вещь хорошая, аттрактивная, которую приятно посмотреть. Ну, более стандартные Будды. Интересны достаточно, на мой взгляд, вот эти вот маленькие цацы. Это найдено на берегах Иссык-Куля, на южном берегу, ну, примерно там, где Сюаньцзянь вышел к озеру, когда шел в свое время. И вторые найдены где-то в Чуйской долине без точного адреса. Надо отметить, что недалеко от нахождения вот этой плакетки, а мы видим, здесь идут надписи санскритские какие-то небольшие, есть имитация надписей здесь. Вот около небольшого вот этого, нахождения этой на Иссык-Куле есть местонахождение и наскальных надписей, не такого маленького, как здесь, а на большом камне. Вчера в презентациях она где-то мелькала у кого-то. То есть это момент, который связан с джунгарским освоением завоеванных территорий, когда они пытались сделать свои храмы, свои дацаны, продвигая свое господство на территории. Но закрепить они не смогли, они были разбиты и изгнаны с нашей территории. Как я говорил вчера, по шелковому пути двигаются не только, а может быть даже не столько товары, сколько идеи, религии, войны. Ну и последнее, что хотел бы сказать кратко, это о еще одной находке, которая была в музее, которая сначала была найдена, в том числе с моим участием, при раскопках на городище Красная речка. В буддийском храме западного буддийского монастыря мы раскопали скульптуру фрагментированную. Вы видите здесь основание плиты, здесь часть торса лежит. Это вид сверху, то есть у нее было в дерево основание, деревянная колонна, вокруг которой из глины все лепилось. Интересно отметить, что вот тут вот ножки бокового персонажа, а здесь они съедены какой-то мышкой. Детали этого всего, вы видите вот эти более четкие ножки, вы видите кисть руки персонажа, вы видите цветные росписи. И вот как они, эти вещи, уже стоят в нашем музее. Отдельно кисти, которые удалось сохранить, закрепить. У нас было найдено в ходе раскопок 3 небольших кисти, 2 явно от одного и третья, вернее, от второго персонажа. Вот такая голова демона с выделенными надбровными дугами. Она напоминает демона из храма в Куве, и считается, что вот это вот течение буддизма, вот такого с такими охранниками страшными, отпугивать зло, они характерны уже для Ваджраяна, не Махаяна, который был раньше, а вот такого течения, как Ваджраяна. Также найдены какие-то отдельные архитектурные декоры, то есть, скорее всего, вот это вот такие выступы обрамляли арку Будды, под которой сидел. И есть такие небольшие, в том числе, скульптурки, тоже из глины. Ну и какие-то другие детали, может быть, украшения одежды. И благодаря усилиям реставраторов Эрмитажа эта вещь, ну, была фрагменты лица, видите, воссоздана, реконструирована. То есть вы помните, что в оригинале на месте инситу была найдена эта плита с вот так вот где-то торс. Часть торса была найдена лежащей, и часть лица, головы, уши, ниши тоже была найдена в завалах. Благодаря работе Ольги Викторовой вот такая вещь была найдена. Но у музея приятная головная боль, как разместить в экспозиции этот экспонат, потому что он большой, аттрактивный, будет принимать внимание, и чтобы этот экспонат не задавил другие, более мелкие, более локальные находки. Большое спасибо за внимание. Thank you very much for... Thank you. I finished my presentation.
Thank you very much for Mr. Valery Kolchenko. He divided archaeological collections related to Buddhist religion at the Natural History Museum of Kyrgyz Republic, and he gave to us history of the archaeological findings and provenience sources, and connected with the history of the archaeological sites and archaeological field expeditions. And then he describes in the archaeological objects and making analysis of the cultural importance and concentrate on the values of this unique archaeological findings. Thank you very much for your scientific presentation. Now, our presentations over. We finish our presentations, and we want to express our gratitude to our guest speakers, and especially I want to thank Mrs. Wing Sukpatar, General Secretary of the Mongolian Commission of UNESCO, for her keynote presentation. And I think we maybe Dr. Professor Ali can show our video on introduction of on Mongolian museums.
Mhm.
How about this? Because we couldn't show in the beginning with the sound. We get 5 speakers. One keynote speaker from UNESCO and 5 speakers on the museum history, museum introduction, and archaeological collections at National Museum of Mongolia, and museum as communication means. We had presentation by Otron Suren, Dor Suren, and we introduced by Olga Truitseva with the Japan IT Museum on Silk Road culture, And we end of our session, we had Mr. Valery Korchenko about Buddhist cultural objects, which holds National History Museum of the Kyrgyz Republic. Thank you for all presenters. Now I want to conclude that we had a very informative and useful session, I think. Thank you for our organizers, ICOM Pakistan, Commit Turkey, and I want to thank to our team, Zahida, Mr. Mohammed Shavid, Dr. Mohammed Shavid, and Isaac Khan, and we became as friends during the last several months. Thank you for your efforts to making possible this conference. And also very thank you for technical organizing people, Dr. Ali and Sajid Aisa Kunir also. We really wants to express our thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Today's session is over now. If anyone want to say something about the speakers' subjects or sharing, it's the time.
Can I say something?
Okay.
Well, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Olga and to Mr. Valery Kolchenko for, it was an amazing collection that you have in your museum, especially the tea garden sets and the Buddha sets. Those are like really valuable things to see, and it's just beyond words can ever describe. So I would like to say that. Thank you.
Please open the cameras and took the picture. Maybe we will. Please open all participants the camera. Will be good photo, I think, for memory.
Just a moment, please.
Please sit mat and sorun and solve the sirma. Who's Minister of Culture, Menso? Please open the camera.
I'm sorry, I have not camera.
Not camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Please share your thoughts about the session. Make a adnote speech for the session, Mongolia session. Maybe you can make an adnote speech.
I think our Mongolian session was successful, and we had excellent presentations, and our speakers very hard prepared, I think, and we saw many unique collections which we before not ever seen, I think. Yes, and we know now many different cultures from Kyrgyzstan and from Russia, Japan, and we know many scholars also from different countries, which is very important for future connections. And I think this session also very useful for our Mongolian museum professionals, because they was very eager to share and participate in this session. This was, I think, very new, maybe phenomenon in the history of the Mongolian museum. This is the first time this online conference for us. This is the very interesting experience, new experience, I think, on Mongolian museums. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Buma, Madame Buma. Thank you very much for your kind participation. Last floor goes to Dr. Mohamed Akhtar Javed, please. I couldn't see, but as you know, the pioneer leader of this
I think,
activities.
yeah, thank you
Please,
very
your
much. Thank you very much. I think you are the appropriate person to say something.
Okay. Sorry.
Sadat,
Sorry.
you are
No, please,
you,
please. I might open a speech, please. It is your floor.
No, I think you are the appropriate person
Yes,
here
thank
to
you.
speak. Say a few words, please.
No, please go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, it was an excellent session,
Thank you.
I believe, because as Bhuma said, this was the first experience their side. I think it is excellent presentation altogether from speaker number 1 to last speaker, and I'm already astonished that the Olga talks were so good that yeah, I was not expecting, because she is a little bit shy, but she has an excellent skill to speak on board. So I believe that each and every speaker has done a very good job, and I can see Aditya here. So he is from India. He is also a Buddha lover. So, yeah, we believe that this kind of exercise is altogether necessary for the our South Asian and Central Asian regions, and so that we are more shy than the European region. So the Europeans and the US region, they are very outstanding and bold. So we are shy. Our speakers are a little bit feel shyness to exchange the material and all these things. But we are coming out. We have started this thing, and we have started. When I say we, that means Kimid and ICOM Pakistan. Also, of course, ICOM Turkey. So we have started this thing just to pull our friends at par with the European standards and all of it. So we will keep on doing this thing, these exercise, and hopefully, Bhuma, I have started with Bhuma. First, I have contacted Lana in Georgia, and on her instruction, on Lana instruction, then I started with the Bhuma. So Bhuma was my first point where I got the acceptance for this program. So she said, okay, I'm ready to do that. So Bhuma, do you remember that?
Yes, of course. You was very busy with
so actually, if I will give a credit, I don't know why you people are giving me the credit. Actually, it's the on side of Sadat, Humid Turkey. So they started this thing. She said she wants some joint venture with Malaysia. So I said, why Malaysia? Why not 3? ICOM Pakistan will come with you. So ICOM Malaysia accepted, ICOM Pakistan accepted, then ICOM Turkey came in. So this was, the beginning was from her side. It was not from my side. So why you people are giving me the credit? I think she is the appropriate person. So she should, in future, she should be given this status, I believe. So because the respect must be given to the true things. So she is very hardworking, very truly friend. So why not? She has started this thing, so she will take this program to end, and then next year again. I don't know whether I'm quite old. I don't know when I will finish my span of
We'll have
life
to
and
say that, yes.
proceed to the density. So, but I believe that Sadat will, together with ICOM Pakistan, will take up these things regularly every year. Thank you very much indeed. All is very good, going very well. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I can't tell you people that this program is going very well. We will finish in 2 days this second group, and then we will go into third group in July and fourth group also in July, and then fifth to eighth groups will be in next 6 months period. So hopefully all will go well. And I'm really surprised to listen that the all speakers, the group one speaker and the group two speakers, they have an excellent research, and they have told us very comprehensive things. Either I was not expecting from Nepal they will have a so good speakers, but they have also excellent speakers. Sri Lanka, they're wonderful people. They can compete with every upstandard country. I think they're upstandard researchers. So first grade researchers, I believe they are. So they can come forward, and they make this frequently. These programs, not necessarily we are taking up with the many countries, but they can have two countries together. They can make program with India, they can make program with Bangladesh. So Bhuma, so I think you regularly do that. There is not much exercise in that. So you have to simply touch the ICOM offices. So they will do it with your joint venture. So similarly, any other countries, they can also do this exercise meanwhile. So major exercise we will on it. So we will continue that inshallah. So over to you, Sadar.
Sorry, I sent a message. I don't understand your last sentences. Sorry, I'm interested in the sent message. Okay, sorry, we have got a lot of words
Never mind.
to make behind the screen. Behind the screen, we have got a lot of work to do. Sorry.
So no, I just said that it was not me who started this program. It was the initiator. The true initiator was the Sadat.
Okay, together.
Do you remember?
It is Aybar,
that one
Sister
is
Rabia.
June 2020, right? So
Yes.
we started. So I just propose that we must increase countries joint venture with more countries than 3 or 4 countries. So we this time we came to 32 countries, and next year maybe more than that, right? So but this whole world is a global village, so make it a village. Right? So why not? We can have every fortnightly program with any country. So, but definitely, I pray for you, and I must say that your taken initiative is flourishing, is establishing, and it has voice reached to all over the world almost, right? So
Okay.
you have to take care. That, as I said, I have done this 4 groups. I have gathered these 4 groups, and next 4 groups, you will be the driver.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow in the ICOM Pakistan session at the same time, 6 o'clock.
Maybe to see our video with the sound.
Yeah, Ali, please. Video with the sound, please.
How about time? I think we have.
It's okay. You can share with sound.
No, you will share.
If you send, did you send me the addresses?
Yes, of course. Yes.
In the chat part?
Yes. Oh, Zahida, I sent to you.
I think it is shared in the core community group and the group.
Do you have this one video?
I'm checking now.
Okay.
Thank you for all. It was nice meeting. Thank you for all.
I'm checking now. Sorry.
Because Arthur student, she wanted to share, but she says no, maybe no, not possible with video, with sound.
Buma, can we see this movie on YouTube later?
Okay.
Yeah. I think Dr. Ali will join that with this proceedings of this Sage Word session. So we can see easily on there. What do you think, Ali?
Could you see the video now?
Yes.
It's okay?
No, it's not running.
It's not running. Just I checking the. It's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
In the main temple, there are also statues of Buddhas made in copper, brass, and plated in gold. The main temple is also decorated by tanka paintings on silk, decorated with applique and embroidery. Those tanka masterpieces are made by artist monks from Urga and other places
Excellent.
Excellent.
Okay. Time to
Okay.
say goodbye.
See you.
See
Goodbye.
you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, please.
This song is the trend in Europe this year.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Uma, I was very happy when you say there are Khatak in your country, 20% Khataks from Pakistan and Turkey. So we have a Khatak tribe in Pakistan.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a
Bye-bye.
Khatak tribe.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. Thank you for your time.